Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Fox's Best Laid Plans, the planner channel that talks openly about anxiety because otherwise it will just eat me alive. Hey, I can take this off. Woo. How's everybody holding up? We are coming into the end of January. Can you believe it? Because I kind of can't. And I kind of am like, January took forever. What's up with that, January? I kind of am both places emotionally right now. So this is where we left this week. It's now Sunday evening. Husband's making me dinner because he knew I had to do this. And he knew that if he didn't cook dinner, then we were never going to get to watch murder documentaries tonight. So what a good husband. All right, let's jump in. We are planning the week of Monday, January 25th through Sunday, January 31st. In my Goosby Twins planner. This is the month approaching that we have all been waiting for in the planner community because February starts on a Monday and is 28 perfect days. Now on a calendar like this, it doesn't look perfect. But in here, look at this. Week 1, week 2, week 3, and then week 4. And it's all perfectly ends on Sunday. Those of us who plan Monday to Sunday, we're waiting for this month. And this is nice because this means that this month ends on Sunday, so it's just 1 month on this final page of the month. See, you have to take in life the little things that bring you joy because there are not always that many of them. I have probably used this kit in the past before. So this is the Arctic Fox kit from Ohana Papers. It is really cute. Maybe I haven't used it before, but I've used something similar, I'm sure. So let us dive in. I do think this week I printed all the things that I needed, so that's good. Okay, so here's the fat washi. It's kind of skinny. What kind of washi tape do I own that would go with this? Because I like the way I did it last week. Do you remember last week? Whoa, we almost had something catch fire. Woo! Buddy, okay. I liked how I did this washi tape along the bottom, and then this was the one, and these I think are the same width. So I'm gonna just peek into the washi cabinet and see what I have. Okay, I'm gonna use this one. Similar, it's the same kit. It's that marble kit from last week. This will be close enough. I just like the extra little burst of color along the bottom there. So we have a lot to talk about. Unlike last week where I was like, I don't know what to talk about. This week I have a lot to talk about. And most of it's not good. So where do you want to start? Do you want to start vaccine or do you want to start dad? Let's start vaccine. The vaccine was the good news of the week. I got my second COVID vaccine this week. And you're probably thinking, oh, Fox, I didn't know that you got your first dose. And that is because I wasn't sure if I was allowed to tell anybody that I got the first dose when I got it because it was a very chaotic time when things were just starting. We weren't supposed to be able to get the dose until we went into clinic. However, in the early days of the clinic when we were still figuring out how to do all the calculating how many you need for each day, blah, 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 they were ending up with a few extra doses, and rather than waste those doses, they were like, hey, let's give them to the people who will be going to the clinics later. And so I got my first dose on December 30th. And so when I had my clinic on Monday, I was able to get my second dose. So I now have had both doses and it's almost a week. So I'm almost up to full immunity, which is pretty freaking exciting. I really like that. So do you want to know about my experiences with the vaccine? Because I will tell you about them. The first dose, I had a sore arm, and that was absolutely it. And I actually worked out that night. I lifted weights, and I was fine. Next day, a little bit more sore, but nothing big. 0 issues. Now, would you like to hear about the second dose? The second dose was a little bit different. So as I said, I got it on Monday. I got it on Monday at around 4 p.m. at the clinic. And I was all fine that night. I worked out that night. Everything was good. And the next morning I woke up around 5 and I felt good and I was like, aha, I did it. I made it through with no side effects. And then I was up for a little bit. About an hour after I got up, I started to have aches, like body aches, like the flu. Yeah. So the worst part about that, which is going to be if you are an anxious person, you might relate to this, was the anxiety. Because when you feel that, it's like they call it the prodrome, where you're like, uh-oh, I think I'm getting sick, but you're not quite sure. You're not like committed into being sick yet. Your body's just like, something doesn't feel right. When you're going through that, it produces a lot of anxiety because you are like, oh God, I'm gonna get sick. How long am I gonna be sick? When am I gonna have to cancel and change my plan? You know, your brain starts going all those different sorts of places. So my brain started doing that because it's habit. It's like connecting the prodrome feelings with, oh shit, I'm about to get sick. I might be down for the count for several days. What do I do with my life? And then I had to keep reminding myself, no, this is just an immune reaction or an immune response. You're okay. It's just an immune response. Oh, I don't want to cover up these little foxes' faces. Aw, well, that's the best I got there. Yeah, so I kept reminding myself, it's just an immune response. You're supposed to feel like this. It'll pass in a few days. So that was like an emotional struggle to get through. And then once I did, it was just like kind of laughable because it was like I was so achy. Like I just wanted to, like when I took a shower that morning, I just wanted to like stand in the shower forever because it felt so good, but it also was hurting my skin at the same time. And I was like, this is a confusing emotion that I'm feeling. So I had to go to clinic that day. So that was Tuesday. So I took ibuprofen once I got to clinic. I wanted to make sure both days I did get a temperature up to like 99.4 or 99.7. It never went above 100, but I didn't want to take anything that would lower my fever and mask that because we can't go to work if we have over 100 fever. So I waited until I like checked into work, saw that I was under the 100, and then took the ibuprofen for the aches, which that like basically made them go away. So that was good. So then I started feeling like achier and achier as the day went on and kind of like weak. And so I was supposed to run that night. When I came home, I was like, it's just not gonna happen. There's no way I can run. So I just did like a 30-minute walking workout tape like Leslie Sansone. And then we ordered dinner and I was like, I'm just going to bed super early. Got into bed, got all cozy, fell asleep. And then around 2 in the morning, I woke up with the worst chills of my life. I was shaking. I was like, what's the Dyatlov Pass? I'm probably mispronouncing that completely. Where like the Russian hikers like all died and they found their bodies like naked and like lost in the woods and the snow because one of the hypotheses of how this happened was they all got hypothermia and then they started hallucinating and like it made them hot and like, yeah, I was like those emotions. I didn't get to the hot part, but I got to like the, oh my God, this is how it ends part. So basically I put on a sweatshirt and sweatpants. I had 4 blankets on and I was still like shaking cold, shaking with chills. And so husband, of course I had woken him up at this point and I was like, babe, I don't know, can you get my heating pad? So that's what he did. He got my heating pad for me and I put it on high. So I had 4 blankets, heating pad on high, and I finally was able to fall asleep. And I was like, oh, thank God. And so I normally, get up between 5 and 5:30. I set my alarm to be later once I realized I was like up for about an hour with these chills. So I set it for like 6:30. At 6, I woke up and I was like sweating my balls off. I was so hot. So it was like, I don't know. It was an emotional roller coaster of chills and then hot, and it was, yeah. And so then I like got up, went into work, and I was feeling still like a little achy, like my skin kind of hurt. And then at noon, done. Everything just, so 44 hours. Well, not 44. Okay. Yeah. So I didn't have any symptoms for the first 14 hours. And then I had symptoms until the next day at noon. And then it was like, just done. And I was fine. I was okay. Went for a run that night, or I ran on the treadmill that night because it was really cold outside and I was like emotionally scarred from the chills. I didn't want to run in the cold. So I did the treadmill that night, but like I felt well enough to run. Like it was a bizarre situation. And I'm happy to be on the other side of it and very, very close to immunity, hopefully. Okay, I paused for dinner because it was done faster than I thought it was going to be. So now I'm back, but I've completely lost my train of thought, so I don't know what I was just talking about. I think I was talking about the vaccine and how it kicked me in the ass. All right. Here's what we've got this week. Not a lot. Okay, so I've got 3 days of work. And so let's use these little guys here with the snowflakes for that. Tomorrow, I didn't get any of the stickers. I don't know what I was. I think because they're in such disarray that like the act of pulling them out and looking at them is like stressful. Everything is stressful, in case you missed that part of my life. Okay, so tomorrow morning before work, I will get this edited and posted before I go into work. There was no third video this week just because it has been a really rough week and I just didn't have the time to come up with an idea for it and film it. I worked 6 days in a row and was feeling not well for several of them. And okay. So I gotta put fitness on here. Which of these has fitness things I could use? I guess I could use these little things here. That'll work. They don't really have anything for dinner. I'm thinking very hard about this. I'm gonna do the little ones. Okay, that's what I'll do. I'll do little ones for fitness, and I'll use these bigger ones for dinners. I don't really know what else I'm, adding in here so much. So okay, these are gonna be fitness. I'm saying that out loud, so I don't forget. Because there have been times when I've done the plan with me, and then as the week goes on, I'm like trying to decide what I'm gonna fill into these things, and I'm like, what the fuck was that supposed to be? So I'm saying it out loud so that I don't forget. I'm just gonna put them in here. I mean, there's no really place to put or not to put. So Tuesday is my run day. So here's the thing. I'm gonna be 2.6 miles short of 100 miles for this month, based on the current schedule that I have. So I think I'm going to what I'm gonna do is try to come up with those miles somehow. So I think this was supposed to be a 3-mile run. I think I'm gonna do 4. I'm gonna do 2 4-mile runs instead of a 4 and a 3. And then I'm gonna do, I think on Sunday, 7 instead of 6. That's how I think I'm gonna handle it. And that'll get me to 100 and I'll be like, whee! Okay, so other workout here, other workout here. Thursday will be another run day. I have had this terrible headache since yesterday morning. Like, it has been really debilitating and it comes and goes. It's like, it'll get a little bit better. I took my allergy medicine this morning. I didn't actually have to take ibuprofen. The allergy medicine knocked it out, but then it came back and the allergy medicine wasn't enough. So I did have to take Advil, which I've been trying to avoid doing, as everybody knows, but it's not been going so well. I'm down to taking just like one every 24 hours, so that's good. So I was over that, but the headache medicine, or the Claritin D did not take the headache away, and I was like really not doing well with it. And also my anxiety's bad, so I also took an Ativan. So I am trying to keep my body functioning, and it's not going well. I definitely have to go to the post office. I'm just gonna put it on here this day and do it. Layla Grace has a vet appointment at 1 p.m. She has a little growth under her elbow, and we've been just like kind of keeping an eye on it, and it's gotten bigger in the last week, so I'm paranoid, so I'm taking her in. And I think that's everything from one. Yeah. Okay, so Dad starts his new chemo, so let's talk about that. I actually don't know what time that is, but I'll just put that in there. So on Tuesday while I was at clinic, I got well, I didn't get any results from my dad. He had his appointment at 1 o'clock with the oncologist, and I didn't hear anything from him. And so that to me was a clear sign that something was wrong. So I took a pause when we had like a little break between, we're allowed to take like 10-minute breaks to eat, you know, that sort of thing. And so I was like, I'm just gonna make a phone call real quick. And that's what I did. I called my dad and found out, yeah, the cancer is back. And it's now moved into his bones. Like, the original lung tumor has grown a little bit. It's still not as big as it was at diagnosis. And the liver tumors, same kind of thing. They've grown, but nothing's got, those tumors are all still smaller than they were whenever he was diagnosed. They're bigger than they were mid-chemo in October, but still smaller than they were. And so it now has moved into his bones as well. So he's gonna stop the immunotherapy, and they're gonna start him on this new chemo that just came out. It's called Zepzelca. And it just was approved for small cell, and it was approved in June, it came on the market in July. So it's brand new. So they had to basically wait to get insurance approval. Then once the insurance approval got in, they had to special order it. And then by the time they got all that done and tried to find like a space on the schedule for him, the soonest he can go in is Thursday, which sucks because that's 2 weeks from the day of the CT scan, and small cell moves fast. It moves really fast. So he's not feeling well. He started on some pain meds because the bone pain is like really, my understanding is that bone pain is like the worst cancer pain. That's like, you know, until they get that under control, that's the most debilitating kind of cancer pain. This is what I remember from oncology class. So they have him on some meds, and then they're hoping that the first chemo will have a significant enough effect that'll like relieve some of that pain. And if it doesn't, then they're gonna do some palliative radiation on the bone just to try to make it more comfortable. While they're gonna try 3 cycles of chemo before they decide stick with it or change or whatever. So it's not good news. It's not the news we wanted at all. My dad's been really in a funk about it. He also struggles with anxiety and depression. That's where I got it from. Thank you, genetics. And so it's been hard because I've been quarantining from them. I haven't felt safe being around anybody that I'm not wearing a mask with because I just got my second dose on Monday, but it takes like 7 to 14 days to build up your full immunity after the second dose. So like I was in nursing homes with, potentially COVID positive patients. So I was like, okay, I'm not gonna see them until next week. But then this weekend, I'm like, all I wanna do is just be over there, and I can't. So, this is what I have to work with, and, we'll work with it. So I wanted to put in dinners and stuff because I like having a record of that, but I don't really know how I want to do that. I'm gonna put this weekend sticker in here. It's taking me a little bit of time. My brain's in a lot of places right now, so it's taking me a little bit of time to work through what I'm putting down in here. So I'm apologizing if this is seeming like slower moving than it normally is. I guess there's not really anything else going on here. I can use this large sticker on Wednesday. So this new chemo, there's not a whole lot out there, and that's adding to my anxiety too, because I very much am like, let me read the studies, let me read the information that's out there, And that doesn't always matter because every person responds differently. So all the studies, there's a bunch of studies out there that saying Tecentriq really helps, and my dad, it didn't work for him. So who knows? But anyway, there is not basically any data out about it's lurbinectidine or Zepzelca. And I actually did attend an online virtual seminar about small cell. Basically, they say small cell cancer is 15 years behind other cancers because people are so advanced when they're diagnosed because it's such an aggressive and fast-moving cancer. And so there's really once it's diagnosed, it's already spread, and there haven't been any biomarkers. So that's, okay, let's cancer lesson here. Lung cancer, there's 2 main types of lung cancer. There's small cell and non-small cell. Non-small cell has a much better prognosis, in part because they have developed these biomarkers that show your genetic sensitivities and things, so it helps them do more targeted therapies. And that's why immunotherapy has become such a mainstay of non-small cell. So basically, they'll do this testing on your biopsy and they'll say, you have this modification or that modification, and that means that you'll have a better response to Keytruda or Imfinzi or Tecentriq or whatever, immunotherapy, and they'll start you on that, and that leads to better results. They haven't had biomarkers for small cell. I'm going to link below, in case you're a science nerd and you like this stuff, an article that just posted this week that they have finally identified some biomarkers for small cell, and Dr. Spada is sending my dad's biopsy to be evaluated for this to see if that will help them guide therapy, and maybe there's something, some answer that he'll have a better response to some certain type of cancer or to a certain type of chemo. So it's super fucking exciting. Like, if you love science, it's really exciting, and it's like the first time that this has been talked about, and it's very, I don't know. I don't know how much it's going to help my dad, because my dad being in the late stage that he's in, it might be too new and too little too late, but it's still exciting. And I'm still, even after my dad is gone, I still feel that it's important for me to be an advocate for small cell lung cancer because of what I've learned and because of what I know and what I can help with, and because of I'm in healthcare. And so that's a commitment that I made the day he got diagnosed. I made a commitment that no matter how long we are with him, how long this lasts, what happens, I'm a lifetime advocate for small cell lung cancer. Like, I've dedicated myself emotionally to that. And so whether this will benefit my dad or not, this new study, that remains to be seen. But I'm super excited that that study is happening. And there's a group, I can't think of where they are based out of, and they are specifically working on small cell because it's like this, niche situation. It accounts for only 15% of all lung cancers, and something like, I don't want to get the quotes wrong, but it's like 60 to 80%. I'll try to find the actual quote and put the number up here. But it's like between 60 and 80% of cases are diagnosed when it's already extensive. They only just started classifying small cell lung cancer with staging the way that they do for basically every other cancer, because it was basically limited, which means it's only in the lung and maybe like a neighboring lymph node or two, or extensive, which means it's traveled. And that's usually how people are diagnosed. Like, my dad had no lung symptoms at all. He was having like chest pain, indigestion, and he developed a bowel impaction, and it was related to liver tumors, because it had, by the time he was diagnosed with cancer, it had already spread to his liver. And that's pretty typical. Not always liver, sometimes bone. A lot of times it comes up because people have fallen, have a fracture, and they find out that the lung tumor has the cells have transferred to the bone. So a bunch of information about lung cancer that you didn't know you needed in your life. So please stop smoking if you can. My dad has not smoked in over 30 years, but please also have your house tested for radon, especially if you are local and you live in Western Pennsylvania. We just bought an at-home radon kit. We're going to do that, and then depending on what the results say, if it does show radon, we're going to do a much larger, hire a company to do a full radon test and reduction, because that is the other, smoking is a predisposes you to small cell, well, to any lung cancer, but to small cell specifically. But the other big thing is radon. And in Western Pennsylvania, a lot of our old houses have radon, and in varying levels. And so, yeah, get a radon test. The American Lung Association, depending on where you live, may offer you a free test, because it's just here. So anyway, long story short, super excited about this new study. Hope that it will help my dad in some way. But even if it doesn't, I'm super pumped that someone is actually working on this, and that there's actually there's new progress. Like, the chemo that my dad is starting was just approved in July. Well, approved in June, went on the market in July. The seminar that I went to online was in September, and they were talking about how this is the first lung cancer treatment for small cell that has been approved since, I think, 1996 or something like that. Yeah, this is groundbreaking. Now, effectiveness, we don't know yet. There's not really very many. There's one study that got it approved for orphan drug status, which is like when something gets fast-tracked because it's a serious condition, but you're not going to get a huge, it's not affecting enough people that you're going to get a huge sample size for testing for the clinical trials. So it gets pushed ahead. So that's basically what happened. There were some clinical trials of small groups where it showed a benefit, and then the FDA was like, dude, do it, go. So I don't even remember what the fuck I'm talking about. But anyway, new chemo starts on Thursday, and we're just like waiting for that day. It's agonizingly long to wait, but it's a new drug. They don't even carry it at the cancer center right now. So what else do I have? I have to run. I got that on here. Groceries, vet. Got my meal planning here. Oh, Tuesday I have to do a COVID test. Just got my latest COVID test result, and it's negative again. Yeah. Hopefully it shall continue forever, now that I should be fully protected. But I still have to go twice a week for work. So I just go on my way home. They put the test in the drive-thru. I pick it up, stick a thing up my nose, put it in the box, and away I go. Okay. I don't have any stickers that are really small enough for doing my meals on here. It kind of sucks, but whatever. I'm fine. I do have these little coffees here. Okay. So that's all good. Thursday is done. Let's move on to Friday. Friday is our store's inventory, so I have to go into work 7. I put until 11. It was 11 last year. It should never be 11. It was just a fluke that we had a new person who didn't know what they were doing from the inventory company. So I put it on there just in case it would be the same, but Lord, please. Please don't let it be that long. And then we're having our ducts cleaned. I think I've talked about this in here. My allergies have been really bad, and that was something that I noticed last year when we were, when you're checking your symptoms every single day, you realize, like, God, I really don't feel good. So we decided to schedule. Kara recommended this place that she is having do her house. She just bought a house. She closes on it tomorrow. And then, so she recommended this place. So we're gonna try them to see if they can do the duct cleaning, because let me grab my bullet journal and just show you real fast. I think I might have shared this, but I'm doing this allergy tracker every day. And so, like, my allergy symptoms are stuffiness, headache, and tooth discomfort. Now it's a little bit different with the tooth discomfort because I had the dental work done and I'm still like gradually, slowly recovering from that. So I feel like the beginning of the year is going to be heavier on that, but it is something that I have when my sinuses are bad. It presses on my teeth, and so I will have tooth pain when I'm having an allergy flare-up. So this is like, I did my key for just stuffiness, just headache, just tooth discomfort, and then the combinations of things. And then I haven't had any days where I feel good, feel great, and then I have almost okay. So these were like, there were 3 days recently that I had like, I felt almost good, but there was still like a little bit of something under the, something troubling me. And then my 2 days for COVID vaccine, I marked those separately because I was like, all bets are off. That's unrelated. I'll just mark those separately. So, but as you can see, it's been a rough month. So I'm hoping like the 29th now will be the day that we get the ducts clean, and I'm hoping that like these allergy symptoms are going to be changing. We're going to be seeing more blues, hopefully, in the near future. So anyway, that's what we're doing. Friday, they'll be there. And then we're going to stay at my parents' house for the weekend. So my dad has his chemo on Thursday. They say that the biggest side effects are fatigue and nausea. Right now, he is so fatigued between the bone pain and medications for the bone pain now that he's just been sleeping like all day, all weekend. It's been making me very, like, I'm checking on him constantly. So we're just gonna stay there all weekend, and that's that. But hopefully he'll be feeling like well enough. When he first started chemo, his original chemo back in August, if you're interested, he did carboplatin, etoposide, and then the immunotherapy Tecentriq for 4 cycles. Well, 3 cycles with the Tecentriq, 1 cycle without. But that's pretty much standard platinum-based chemotherapy that is first line for small cell lung cancer. Some countries use cisplatin instead of carboplatin, but carboplatin is supposed to be a little bit better tolerated, and so that's what we use in the US. That's the standard of care, 4 to 6 cycles. He did really well with 4 cycles. They stopped it there, and then he moved to just the immunotherapy, and after the second month of just immunotherapy, he had progression, and that's why we're starting a new chemo. So I'm gonna say 7 miles here, and then my Saturday long run is gonna be 12. Okay. And then I don't know what fitness I'll do there. So I don't really have a thing to use for marking my meals. That's okay. I can just handwrite them in separately. Like I was doing a little bit of that. I don't know if y'all saw when I showed the thing here. My dad started his new meds that day. I just documented it there. I did document my side effects of the COVID vaccine there. We got our new water line in. That's been a mess. I don't even want to talk about that. So, I can just handwrite things in like that, and it will be okay if it's not on a sticker, because there aren't really a lot of other sticker sizes to use here. So, okay, stay at parents. Oh, I have to do another COVID test, so after I come home from inventory, I will do that. See, I can just handwrite. And it's fine. It's not ruining the world. Okay, and then on Sunday I want to do my Power Sheets video. Like do my Power Sheets setup for February, and then film that, and then that'll be my video that week. Okay, I do really think last week that it helped me to have my planner done, even though I was stressed about the week. Like I think being able to reference and check in on that every day did really help. So. Okay, I think that's pretty much all I have right now. It's like wide open because I don't know what the week's gonna bring, and I don't know what we're gonna be, eating at my parents' house. If my dad, he keeps on, I really want to have people over for French fries. Hint, hint. I'm like, Dad, we're gonna come over as soon as we can, but I would like. There was a chance that I could have been exposed to COVID and not known it, and I'm not taking that chance. I'm not taking that chance. So. I love these little boxes. I just want to put them like all over. Oh, they're so cute. So, this is what it is. I guess I should I didn't take my stickers out. Like, what the fuck? It's been a lifetime, it feels like. So, just keep going one day forward. I did have a therapy appointment with Georgia, and she's like so fucking wise. I mean, it's good to have a wise therapist, but she's so wise, and she was like, what you have to remember is that you still have your dad, and maybe it's years, maybe it's months, maybe it's days, weeks, but you have him right now, and, don't do all of you a disservice by acting like he's gone already and worrying about the what ifs, and just take it one day at a time. And it was really helpful for me to have that conversation with her. And so when I start going down these, I start obsessively reading message boards and searching for well, this person had this response, and it's cancer. Every single person, you can have 20 people with the same diagnosis on the same day and the same regimen, and you're gonna have 20 different responses. That's just how medicine in general is, and that's how cancer especially is. And so it's not productive or helpful for me to go obsessing on that. So my work here is to, when I start to do that, check in with myself and say, hey, this isn't going to help you. You can't predict the future. Let's do something else right now. Let's do something else right now. So right now, that something else is we're going to go watch the next episode of the Night Stalker docuseries, which if you're watching it or have watched it or are thinking about watching it, so far it's really good, but it is very, very gory and detailed. It is, they show a lot of crime scene footage, so if you are squeamish about that part of true crime, maybe not the documentary for you, but so far it's really interesting. And this guy is fucked up, and he's a different kind of serial killer because, most serial killers have their I always do this. This is my calling card. He's not like that, and it's now I have questions. Why? And, I don't know. Anyway, here's my week. It's the white space is making me anxious, but the white space is, necessary in life sometimes, and this is a white space kind of week. So I hope everybody is hanging in there, and I don't know, thank you for listening to my ramblings about this stuff. It's been good to have this channel. It's been great to have my runner fam, my therapist, husband, it's been super, super helpful to have my support group around me. And I do consider making these videos and you know, putting them out there as part of that support group, because it helps me talk through things. So I hope everybody has a good week. Please subscribe if you're new here. I do publish videos 2 to 3 days a week. There's normally a third video, but this week there wasn't, just because of the chaos of the week itself. I do Plan With Me's on Monday. I do weekly vlogs on Thursday. And then a potpourri of different topics on Sundays. So next Sunday, the 31st, it will be my power sheets, analysis from January, and plan for February. So, all right, everybody, hang in there. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. And I will see you in my next video.